Yeah. Shalom Israel. It's Captain Azania of the ISUPK, Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Since 1969, we have been teaching the same thing, the truth, the absolute truth. We've been teaching the truth, um, which is the Bible. Okay, the Bible. And we teach out of the King James 1611 Bible. We teach the truth, all right? The absolute truth as expressed in the Bible, okay? You just see something here. The water for your patience, um, working out a new system, just trying to make sure everything is to wow. Mm-hmm. I do not know nor understand why continuously with this. I don't know. Oh man. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. All right. Hopefully I'm live. All right, y'all. So lucky everybody. All right. I must thank you. I was waiting for a response from someone. Someone just sent me a text saying that I'm live. So lucky everybody. All right. So we are live. Okay. Captain of 10,000, Captain Azania, as stated. Okay, I am on your commanding General Yohana. Commanding General Yohana is the man that was set up by, when I say set up, I mean authorized by the Most High, designated by the Most High to lead Israel. Okay, he has the highest rank under our King, Yahweh Shai Mashiach, whom the world calls Jesus Christ. Commanding General Yohana came in to the truth under the seven heads, the seven brothers that were taught by Abba Bivens. Okay, taught Commanding General Yohana as he came into the truth, the ISUPK, in the early 80s, and he continued to teach it. When other men left, and failed to hold their duty, Commander General Yohana continued to keep it. Okay? And continuing to do it and to keep it, he raised up generals under him. Right? Men under him, women under him. Okay, raised up the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. We've been going out doing the same work as it was ordered and commanded by our King Yahweh Shai Mashiach, to feed the flock, go out and save Israel, wake them up and bring them into the truth as well. And that is exactly what we've been doing in here. All right. All right. I don't know what's going on up here. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Let's just get it. All right. Y'all seen the Super Bowl yesterday. All right. There's been a lot of controversy, a lot of concern, a lot of conversation pertaining the Super Bowl. Listen, Hispanics are Israelites. Hispanics, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you make up the 12 tribes of Israel. All right. The so-called Negro, the so-called West Indian, Caribbean, the so-called Native American, the so-called Latinos, the so-called Hispanics, the so-called indigenous of North, Central, and South America. You make up the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay. Blacks and Hispanics have to start realizing that we are one culture as a people. We are one nation as a people. 12 tribes that make up one nation as a people, right? When I say one nation as a people, the chosen people of God, the real Jews that you read about in the Bible. Okay, when you hear about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and you hear that, you hear about forefathers in the scriptures, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that produce the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, so with that being said, we have to stop making it as if there's controversy between us when we are the same people, even if we may have disagreement or hate towards one another, which is horrible, but that does not negate the fact. And I say this is a fact. Hispanics are Israelites, right? Hispanics are Israelites, okay? So it's like your family. You might have a disagreement or might not feel, or you even have family members that despise each other, malicious intent towards each other, but they're still family, okay? And the way that it is set up by the Most High and structured by the Most High is for the 12 tribes of Israel to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Bible. And that is the purpose of us being on this earth, right? To praise, to worship, to honor the Most High God. Yahweh. Yahweh is the name of the Most High God. All right. Thursday nights, get in the Thursday night class. You'll be able to check it out by Priest and Officer Nahar Yahweh. Okay. But as stated, right, we have um, we have one purpose, one main focus and purpose on life, and that's to serve the Most High. Let me get that. Let me get that for y'all real quick. Got it right here. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. I heard that, right? Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. That's deep. That's the whole duty of man. Your existence is to fear God. And what does it mean to fear God? All right. What does it mean to fear God? Let's see if anybody can chime in. Right? What does it mean to fear God? What does it mean to fear God? Right. What does it mean to fear God? What does it mean to fear God? Okay. A lot of times people look at the term fear God, right? And they automatically feel as if, well, why would I fear God? And that makes me scared of God. And yes, you should fear God. Okay. Let us conclude. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God. This fear is real fear. Okay. This fear means that you should be absolutely fearful of the Most High God. And this is the problem with Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. I see this all the time, right? We do not fear the Most High God. The Bible continuously says fear God, and you will hear people say, oh, I fear God. Okay? You'll hear people say that they fear God. They do not fear the Most High God. Okay? In order to fear the Most High God, you truly believe that he has total power and authority over your life, over all those involved with your life. Okay? And if you fear him, you will acknowledge that he could take your life, he could give life, right? He could set this into position. He can take this out of your life or out of your position in life. Okay, whatever it may be, he has complete power over. All right, and fear means that you're going to act accordingly. And that's what's wrong with us as a people, as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. The 12 tribes of Israel, we've fallen away from the Most High to where we look at the Most High God, Yahweh, as a joke, as a religion, as something spooky, or you call upon him when it's convenient for you. That means you don't fear him. Okay? When it's convenient is when you structure your ideas upon him, right? How you feel about it. You're going to pray. Only time you praying is when you feel that there's some type of troubles that he can come along and clean up for you or handle for you, as if he's your pet. You know what I'm saying? Or he's your creation or existence. That's why I said religion. Religion is man-made existence, man-made religions, man-made philosophies, right? That's religion. All right. And what you do is you take that and you look at the Most High God as if he's not significant all the time. Okay. All right. You have to look at the Most High God as the end all be all and what he set up and constructed. Black people still to this day, we are still practicing the same things that we've been practicing for hundreds and hundreds of years. We're still practicing Christianity. We still worship white people. We still believe that the God of the Bible is white. We believe that God is white and Jesus is white. The people of the Bible are white, right? We adore and admonish and give all authority to white people. We still participate in the Republican, Democratic, structural setup of America, the government. When I say that, I'm not talking about paying taxes. You shouldn't pay taxes, or that's not what I'm saying. Or you shouldn't abide by the laws of the land. You shouldn't do these things, right? But when I say we partake in America, y'all seen Bad Bunny last night. Bad Bunny had all the flags of all the Hispanic or Latino countries in the Western Hemisphere, right? And he said, together we are one with America. He can wave the U.S. flag right next to the Puerto Rican flag. He said Colombia, Venezuela, Ecuador, Costa Rica, right? And he's trying to bridge, or that's what he's saying, that we are together. God bless America. And when I say God bless America, bless all these countries as well, because we should be together. Why? Why are we the people that have to fight for a seat in America? Why do we have to fight for an audience of America? And when I say America, the concept of America that I'm speaking of, the structure of America that I'm speaking of, everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about white people, white America, right? We vote. We put our faith and trust in politicians. We know politicians are corrupt. We know it doesn't work, but we fear the white man so much. We fear America so much. We fear the police. We fear the masses. We fear how it would look if we weren't accepted by our master, right? Talking to people about the Super Bowl today, and the ultimate thing is, because they're comparing it to Kendrick Lamar last year, and who's more conscious or who's more proactive, who was more against the man. You had the Super Bowl to win the halftime show. There is nothing more American than singing at the halftime show or singing at a Super Bowl. That's why I titled tonight's class, The Black National Anthem is Still Us in Slavery. It's still about slavery. We are still enslaved in this place. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are slaves in America. It is 2026, and we are watching the Super Bowl, and we are still watching our enslavement. We are still in shackles. Bad Bunny, the first scene that he did of the halftime show was powerful in that he's showing Puerto Ricans, which are Ephraimites according to the Bible, he's showing them in a sugarcane field with machetes chopping sugarcane. That's slavery. He's pointing out slavery as our existence, as a part of our existence. And I'm glad he did it. That's phenomenal, brother. But at the same time, we're at the Super Bowl. Stephon Diggs, let me get this article real quick. Because I'm going to talk about the Black National Anthem. I'm going to give the history of the Black National Anthem. I, like everybody else, I sung the Black National Anthem at our Black events, Black conscious events. And they sing it now at the Super Bowl. Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. When I say Black, right, that covers all that I'm speaking of, Blacks and Browns, okay? And I don't mean brown as in East India, from India, Bengali with the dots. Bengali. I'm not talking about that. I'm speaking of all people, right? Excuse me. Stephon Diggs, right? Y'all familiar with Stephon Diggs, wide receiver for the Patriots. Okay, his girlfriend, Cardi B. Great football player. Great football player. Right? All right. Let me see if I can get this here. Okay. Stephon Diggs turns his back on the field and the flag during the New England Patriots national anthem. Let's see if I can find it here. Stephon to the flag. Let me find it here. Okay. And why do y'all for y'all patience? Let me see if it's an article and I'm gonna read it. This is on Express. Express.com. This is UK. 50. Hold on. 50 star snubs for the second time. The New England Star. I want y'all to hear that. The New England Patriots. The New England Patriots. Why can't I go live on my personal Facebook? This is crazy. It's crazy. Okay. Y'all heard that. The New England Patriots star opt to once again turn his back on the American flag at Super Bowl 50. Mm. What public reaction did Stephon Diggs' anthem stance receive? Stephon Diggs has once more chosen to face away from the American flag. The New England Patriots star, wide receiver, snubbed the pre-game national anthem at the Super Bowl 50, despite previously facing criticism. As an American singer, songwriter, Charlie Puth delivered the Star Spangled Banner before a capacity crowd at Levi Stadium on Sunday. Diggs was energetically bouncing as he turned towards the spectators rather than the pitch. As Puth's performance ended, Diggs made a beeline for the Patriots bench before starting at sections of the crowd. This marks the second occasion Diggs has turned away from the American flag. However, it appears more characteristic of a pre-match routine of a political demonstration, similar to former quarterback Colin Kaepernick's kneeling gesture. Before the Patriots' 10-7 victory over the Denver Broncos in the AFC Conference Championship, CBS cameras captured the 32-year-old directing his attention toward the audience as country artist Nathan Ratcliffe performed the anthem at Mile High. Okay, so this is the second time he did it. Okay, that's back to back. One said Stephon Diggs turning his back to the anthem and flag is hilarious. What a moral high guard he has. Another added, why did Stephon Diggs do jumping jacks with his back to the flag during the national anthem? Very disrespectful. Okay. A third added, just watch Diggs turn his back on the national anthem. Wonder if he realizes this accomplishes nothing but makes him look stupid. All right. Okay, I think that's it for that article. All right. Now, my thing with this, because I heard about it. Right? I saw it. Something in a post, and I'm all for brothers turning their back on the American flag. I'm all for it. But I don't think he really went all out because whining about it, right? Why not say something? Why not write a letter to the media or say to the cameramen and the reporters that's at the Super Bowl, right? You're turning your back to the flag on purpose. Okay, because he chose the last 2 games of the season to do it. Now, maybe he came to some moral high guard as the Edomites, a lot of Edomites. When we say Edomites, we're talking about so-called white people, right? So-called Europeans, the oppressors, the devils on the earth. You can see their commentary, okay, and them commenting on him turning his back to the American flag. And you know they were ready to get at it. They be the first ones that cannot stand someone in defiance or making a political statement. You cannot make a political statement. Bad Bunny at the halftime show, they took that as a political statement. And I see people worshiping and praising Jay-Z. Oh man, Jay-Z and Kendrick Lamar. Now he got Bad Bunny. Yeah, Jay-Z doing it for the culture. No, the hell he's not. No, the hell he's not. Jay-Z is foul for the country, for the culture, for our people. Jay-Z is disgusting for us. That man dances with witches. That man promotes all type of sin and wickedness that our people wouldn't accept it. Just because somebody does something, you got to look at it. Now, half of America, oh my goodness, the Hispanic population across this planet, the Latinos across the planet. So it would be ideal to put a Latino superstar at the halftime show that's going to generate more audience. It's going to generate more and more audience. And when you have more audience, you have more money. Because the Super Bowl is nothing but a commercial for America. It is the biggest commercial for America. So for a Latino, a Hispanic, an Ephraimite, a so-called Puerto Rican superstar, pop superstar, music superstar, to promote reggaeton, salsa, merengue, to promote Latin America, the people of the indigenous people, the Taino, the Arawak, okay, the Boricua, to the world, that's just a commercial for America. Everybody get hypnotized and don't really understand what the hell is going on. The Super Bowl committee, who controls and rules over Jay-Z, we think Jay-Z is just some black man with all this power. When he's just there doing what the hell he's doing. He's a puppet playing the game. He's the one that told. He said, y'all tired of taking and what else is we going to do? So he gets black people last year with Kendrick Lamar, and that black people, oh my goodness, yeah, he was so politically forefront and boom, 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 boom. Bad Bunny, man, it's because y'all feel as if we didn't took the Super Bowl. You didn't take the Super Bowl. You performed at the Super Bowl. Blacks and Hispanics are puppets, are enjoyment for white people. And the controversy, how are we going to have a Super Bowl halftime show? This is what white people were saying. And it's all in Spanish. I couldn't understand it. I didn't like it. And black and Hispanic people, we laughing because you didn't understand it. It was our culture. Yeah, put it in their face. You being American is not a goal. It's not an accomplishment. Stephon Diggs turns his back to the national anthem and the American flag. You doing that, Stephon Diggs, while you're wearing the American flag. You play for the New England Patriots, which is red, white, and blue. You have to get to a deeper understanding of who the hell you are and what we're doing in this place called America. How about we tell them we are not going to perform at the Super Bowl? Let's see the power in which it invokes. They asked Deion Sanders, they said, Deion Sanders, we know you're great at Colorado and you like Colorado and you're comfortable, but there's some positions for coaching jobs that just opened up. Would you like to be an NFL coach? Now, I respect Deion Sanders for what he said, but it makes you think at the same time. Deion Sanders said, what they did to my son, how they treated my son last year during the draft, and how they disrespected Shador, my son, there is no way I would be an NFL quarterback. I mean, an NFL coach. I would never be an NFL coach in the NFL because of the disrespect they have for me and my son. Now, what if the NFL did not disrespect his son? He's going to go wherever the money is greatest. Right? What if Stephon Diggs made a statement and said, I'm turning my back on the national anthem singer. I'm turning my back on the American flag. I'm doing it intentionally. And he made that statement and made it public. Then they would fine him. Right? He would go through some type of controversy. He'd be called to the office. So if that is the case, is he willing to sacrifice everything? Is he willing to sacrifice and to give up everything? When I say everything, I'm talking about his career. Kanye West went against the Jews, and said who the real Jews were. He said the Jewish people rule the music industry and the entertainment industries that exploit black people. Black people who are the real Jews. I'm paraphrasing what he says. He said the 12 tribes of Judah and the real Jews, why the Jewish man, he loves our demise. And he was absolutely right. And you know what Kanye West eventually did? He apologized to the Israeli government, to the rabbis, to all the Jewish ones, to all the fake Jews. You are never going to find any type of solution if you do not fear God. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man. You have to be a man and complete your duty by keeping the commandments of the Most High God and fearing him. That means you don't fear anybody else. You fear nothing else. Because your integrity is locked in. Your manhood is locked in. You have embraced really fearing the Most High God, and you are committed to it. You ain't smoking weed. Stephon Diggs smokes weed on yachts. He does drugs on yachts with hoes. Black and brown women on boats and yachts. She's smoking weed and all of them naked. Him and Cardi B. Ha 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 ha. You don't give a goddamn about black people's freedom. Nobody heard him. I heard about Colin Kaepernick. Where the hell is he? What is he talking about recently and now? Did he sell out? Did they buy out Colin Kaepernick? Must have. Everybody got a podcast. Colin Kaepernick don't even have a podcast. Where's his live? Where's his Instagram or Facebook or Twitter? He doesn't have a voice. Wouldn't he be speaking every day since the day he got kicked out of the NFL? No one gives a goddamn about black freedom and black liberation. Stop singing a goddamn song. You're singing a goddamn song at every football game now, every basketball game. I remember when the song became popular in the 90s, in the 80s and in the 90s, when I was a child singing the Black National Anthem. I thought it was proud. I thought it was freedom and liberation. Black people are not getting any goddamn liberation anytime soon because they do not fear God. They are not taking the correct pathway to their freedom. Black people, we are arguing over Republican and Democrat. Black people are arguing over ICE, over the immigration customs enforcement. We are arguing which way should we go and how should we handle this when you keep no commandments of the Most High God. What the hell is wrong with us? We think slocky. Whoa, I was about to excuse my language. We think a goddamn song. We think da-da-da gasolina. Da-da-da gasolina. We think that's going to liberate us? They not like us. They not like us. We think that's going to liberate us. Black people, stop acting like children. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are goddamn children in America. We have been enslaved so bad that our mentality has been reduced to the mind of children. We love Christmas. We love Valentine's Day. We love Thanksgiving. We love birthdays. We love the Super Bowl. We'll put the pageantry on. We'll make sure that we go and do everything that America calls us to do. Wants us to do because it's the cool thing to do. And we think that a song can change America. America, accept us. Blacks and Hispanics want to be accepted so bad in America. It's so goddamn ridiculous. I'm all for showing off to the white man and making fun of white people. You know I'm the best at it. I'm all for in your face and I'm all for that. I'm all for the in your face and ha 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 ha. Yeah. I'm all for that. And you racist, and calling them out on their racism because they cannot stand a halftime show with us, Black entertainers. They cannot stand it. Where's Eminem? The reason why I say where is Eminem, because they said they loved Eminem and Snoop Dogg. They loved those halftime shows. When it's Eminem and Snoop Dogg out there in the goddamn snow, he's skiing. Black people, you want to be accepted by white people so bad. It's not your culture. Why can't we ever go, you know what? Keep your goddamn halftime show. We'll put on our own. We'll put on our own halftime show. I can give a damn. I can care less. We'll go ahead and put on our own goddamn halftime show. But you know what we're doing? We singing the national anthem. What's it? Coco Jones. Coco Jones, the Black national anthem. Right after the national anthem was sung, you know, they had to balance it out. They gave it to some white guy I have never heard of in my life. I haven't heard of this white guy in my life, goddamn it. I ain't never heard of this white guy. And they had her come up there, Coco Jones sing the national anthem. And Coco Jones sung the national anthem, and she wore. See, this is how sad it is for us as a people. This is how horrible and sad and horrific this is, man, for us as a people. She wore the same style jumpsuit outfit that Whitney Houston wore. I think it was 91 or 92 when Whitney Houston sung the national anthem. Whitney Houston is gone. Whitney Houston died of a drug overdose in the tub. And she's known for singing that national anthem. They say that was the greatest sung national anthem of all time. Right? And it's so sad. It is so sad and pathetic that that's the national anthem, right? Being sung by our sister, Whitney Houston, who died of a drug overdose. To prove to you she was a true American. She was a drug addict who was loved and accepted by white America. We should absolutely look at that and go, damn. We should make the correlation and say, wow, do we love America? Or do we fear the Most High God? The reason why I say fear, because y'all don't love God. And in order to love God, you have to fear him. You're not seeking approval or acceptance by some goddamn filthy. You know how the Most High looks at America? He looks at it as Babylon. This is the daughter of Babylon that you read about in the Bible. This is the place of futures, prophecies, great destruction in the Bible. Everybody on the planet knows that this place has something coming for its wickedness, especially to the children of Israel. I'm not talking about them over there. I'm not talking about them in them synagogues and the curly fries on the side of their head with yarmulkes on. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the true children of Israel, blacks and Hispanics, whom America hates. While they hate us so much, you are pleading and begging, nah, let Bad Bunny do the halftime show. Let white people be mad. I don't give a goddamn, and nor should you, because we should look for the objective to free our people by turning to the Most High God. Do I stand for the national anthem? No. No. But I spoke to a basketball coach today, right? I spoke to a basketball coach. And we were having a conversation about the national anthem. And he said, I totally agree with you on your religious belief and your religious freedom that you want to express the way you want to express, especially if it's your religion. I stand for the national anthem. I love America. I'm a patriot. I'm all for the military of America. That's what he's saying to me. And then he said, but my issue is, no, he didn't say my issue. He was just saying, how can I, what was he talking about? He said that there was young men that he once coached that wanted to do like Colin Kaepernick. And he said he couldn't take them serious. Now, this is an Edomite, a white man. Okay. So you know his mentality already. But he said, I couldn't take them serious because they wanted to be like Colin Kaepernick, but the profanity in the locker room, how they treated each other, the disrespect, how they didn't care for their community. And I'm talking to him because it's a hypocrite, right? And I'm breaking it down to him, and I'm cutting him, basically telling him, well, America is does this and this. Y'all blow up countries and they're innocent. Y'all built this entire country. So you can't stand on a moral ground if America has no moral ground to stand on. But at the same time, in my mind, I know what he's talking about. I know that we as a people should strive to be better and greater than them. Let me get you the Black National Anthem, y'all. Lift every voice and sing. Lift Every Voice and Sing is a hymn with lyrics by James Weldon Johnson, written in the late 1800s and set to music by his brother, J. Roseman Johnson. Okay? This song, damn near, was written right after slavery. Okay? The late 1800s. This song was written in slavery, basically. 1870s, 1880s, 1890s. Let's say it was written in 1890s. That's just removed out of slavery, right? Okay. In 1905, see, there it goes. In 1905, it was written to music, written from the context of African Americans in the late 19th century. The hymn is a prayer of thanksgiving to God, as well as a prayer for faithfulness and freedom, with imagery that evokes the biblical exodus from slavery to the freedom of the promised land. We're right in the Lift Every Voice. Them brothers wrote it. It was two brothers that wrote it, the Johnson brothers, James Weldon Johnson and Roseman Johnson. Wrote this song, Lift Every Voice and Sing, to evoke the exodus of the Bible. From slavery to the freedom of the promised land. That's insane. And we're singing it at a basketball game, at a baseball game, at a football game, at your community rec center, with all the drug dealers and drug addicts. We're singing it at your blackity black cookout with your Pan-Africanism and the red, black, and green. We're singing it with no structure. But there is a hint of the God of the Bible and us coming up out of slavery to evoke biblical exodus. I don't think we give a damn, y'all. We don't really care. Because how could you vote? How could you be a Republican or a Democrat? How could you 4th of July, red, white, and green? Red, white, and blue, excuse me. The American flag. And want America so much to accept you. That is not the promised land. We're singing The Black national anthem, we're singing Lift Every Voice and Sing as if we're in the promised land. Mm, mm, mm. Premiered in 1900, Lift Every Voice and Sing was communally sung. See, and nobody knows this. Nobody knows this. I'm telling you right now, half of Black America doesn't know Lift Every Voice and Sing. I guarantee it. Half or more than half of us, more than 50% of Black people in America have no idea what the Black national anthem is. Do you know why? Because we don't really give a damn. We don't. We don't care. You've never cared, Black America. I didn't truly understand it. I don't know. I was taught it. I was taught Lift Every Voice and Sing because I went to a community center that's predominantly Black. And are Black directors and Black instructors, Black teachers. It's a beautiful thing to be around your own people. But we weren't teaching our own culture. Nobody was teaching us that we were the 12 tribes of Israel. No one was saying that Jesus is Black and Jesus is the greatest man to ever walk the earth. That we got to follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. No one is really out here standing and teaching against the drug dealers, against the hoes, against the pimps. No one is pushing that except the ISUPK. I finally found it. We're not really teaching Lift Every Voice and Sing and what it truly means and evokes as a people. And how do we live up to it? Black people don't live up to none of their songs. None of these creeds. They're great poets. Bear with me real quick, y'all. Because I'm about to give y'all what Killer Mike said about Martin Luther King. Mm-hmm. If I can find it. It's probably hell to find it. Killer Mike was talking about Martin Luther King, right? Because Martin Luther King, somebody was talking to him. It was like in a barber shop or something. It was on some interview. And he was talking about Martin Luther King, Michael King, but he was talking about him as if, how come y'all bring up Martin Luther King having sex with white women and having multiple women and sexual relationships, sexual deviance with all these women? How come y'all bring that up? But y'all ain't talking about Hugh Hefner. Y'all not talking about the Catholic Church. Y'all not talking about all these white leaders and white politicians and John F. Kennedy. Y'all never talk about that. Why y'all want to bring that up about Martin Luther King? Black people, that shows and proves that we don't fear God. We don't believe in a moral standard or compass. We don't. We're not seeking what the Bible has called us to do. We'll jump everywhere and go, the Bible is a white man book. Christianity was given to us during slavery. Christianity was given to Black people during slavery. But Christianity is not the Bible. They did not give us the Bible during slavery. They did not want us to have the Bible during slavery. You know what happened when Black people, Hispanic people of North, Central, and South America had the Bible during their enslavement? Do you know what happened? Revolt happened. Rebellion happened. Then Mark Vesey happened. Nat Turner happened. The revolts in Puerto Rico and Jamaica and Haiti, Haiti. Those things happened. Those revolts happened because we was reading the Bible and we found out who we were in these scriptures. They didn't want you to read and write. Don't be tricked by them Pan-African blackity black niggas who smoke weed all goddamn day long, high as a goddamn kite, having sex with everybody. Don't believe them when they tell you something stupid as the Bible is a white man book. The Bible is against the white man. The Bible is against America. It is the complete opposite of white people. The Bible is. Now, Christianity, that's white Jesus. Christianity, that was our enslavement. Not what's in here. Martin Luther King should have lived according to the Bible, right? Wasn't he the preacher? Isn't he our leader? He didn't give a damn about the Bible. He didn't care about the Bible. Our people don't care. That's why we sing the Black National Anthem and not know what the hell it's talking about. You think Coco Jones knows what it means? The Exodus? Do black people know what the Exodus is? They know the book of Exodus? If black people knew what the book of Exodus was, everybody would be at Passover. Everybody would attend the 57th annual Passover of the ISUPK if you knew what Exodus was, if you knew the true lyrics to lift every voice and sing. Let me see if I got this guy here. A brother. He's talking about a brother, a black man who brings out Dr. King's perversions, his orgies. King had a white girlfriend, just like Barack Obama, in college, and loved white women, and was a sexual deviant. He would have sex with men and women. They would have sexual orgies. Martin Luther King. So when it's exposed and put out there, Killer Mike is saying, hey, brother, stop saying that. Keep talking about Benjamin Franklin. Talk about George Washington and their perversion. Talk about these white men. They're wrong. Who funding you, brother? Stop allowing white morality or white wickedness or deviancy, white people's perversion. You shouldn't mirror yourself. Black people shouldn't mirror ourselves with them. But you know why you do that? Because you really want to be equal to them. Let me play this again. brushed it under the rug. This is Killer Mike talking to Shannon Sharp, another sexual deviant, another white woman lover who half of who's halfway effeminate. I'm using proper terms. Shannon Sharp. People look at his appearance and they always question his sexuality. Why is he dressed in tight clothes like that, wearing that purse around his chest with the tight strap? Shannon Sharp's what is it when somebody dresses you up? Your fashion, I don't know what it's called. His fashion liaison, his image consultant. The person who dresses him is a flamboyant, straight up homosexual. It's been told plenty times and times before. Why would you have a homosexual with you, period, at all? In any instance, why would you have a homosexual with you? That's crazy. It makes no sense. Why would you have a homosexual dress you? But anyway, Killer Mike is telling this to Shannon Sharp. And he brushes it under the rug and he says, but what about white people? Do y'all hear this? Martin Luther King didn't care about God, man. He didn't care about the Bible. He wanted you to be the best American that you could be, the greatest American that you could be. And we are living as the greatest Americans that we can be. We've become drug addicts. We're so overly sexualized. We are extremely overly sexualized. It is incredible how overly sexualized we have become as a people. It is so sad. It breaks my heart how I see us as a people. And it doesn't for nobody else. No, I'm like, I be feeling like, is the ISUPK the only group? And I'm like, I guess we are. This should come out and we should say it. But how powerful would it be if we pointed out white men's perversion, white women's perversion, their atrocities? How more powerful would it be if we were on the side of the Most High God doing it? If we truly separated and didn't want the culture of white people? It's just a game. I understand. It's just a football game. Watch the Super Bowl. I watch the Super Bowl. I watch the halftime show. It's just a game. I understand it's just entertainment until it becomes, what are we really giving ourselves to? Let me finish Left Every Voice and Sing. Premiered in 1900, Left Every Voice and Sing was communally sung within Black American communities, while the NAACP began to promote the hymn as a Negro national anthem. That's why it's called the Black National Anthem. Okay. Now, the NAACP is the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, right? Is an American civil rights organization formed. Do you know why it says an American civil rights organization? Let me finish this. Is an American civil rights organization formed in 1909 as an interracial endeavor to advance justice for African Americans by a group including W.E.B. Du Bois, Mary White Overton, and Moorfield Story. That was just some of the people. You know, the majority of the people on the founders of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, Do you know who they're Jewish and white? Jewish and white people started the NAACP and said the Lift Every Voice, that should be the Negro anthem. White people controlled and ran your civil rights. Your culture was promoted and pushed as to which songs to sing, which way to look. Remember, quarter zip was popular about 6 months ago? Everybody, well, yeah, we're the quarter zip. Let's get our young brothers out of the ski mask and hoodies. Let's get them out of that. And let's give them some quarter zip sweaters. That was an African who came up with wearing a quarter zip sweater. We've been wearing quarter zip sweaters. Carlton had on a sweater all the goddamn time in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And he was the goofiest, coony ass nigga that you would ever find. Steve Urkel was a quarter zip nigga, and y'all laughed and found it hee hee ha ha. Your culture is being defined by the very people in which you are being oppressed by. Blacks and Hispanics. Negro National Anthem in 1917 with the term Black National Anthem. Similarly used in the present day. It has been featured in 49 different Christian hymnals, and it has also been performed by various African American singers and musicians. James Weldon Johnson graduated from Atlanta University in 1894 and returned to his hometown of Jacksonville, where he became the principal of Stanton High School, the first public high school for African Americans in the state of Florida. Named in honor of Edwin M. Stanton, Johnson sought to write a poem in commemoration of President Abraham Lincoln's birthday. The Black National Anthem was written in honor of Abraham Lincoln. The Black National Anthem was written in honor of Abraham Lincoln's birthday. February 12th, I think it is. President's Day, it's coming up. President's Day coming up. George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. And we believe that Abraham Lincoln freed us from slavery, the Emancipation Proclamation. We wholeheartedly believed it. And we believe it to this goddamn day. I was just clicking through the channels, and on C-SPAN, sometimes on C-SPAN, they'll show you events from the recent past, like last year or 6 months ago. There was something in the summertime at the African American Civil War Memorial. There's a Civil War Memorial in Washington, D.C. It's a statue outside of the War Museum in D.C. They gave us a goddamn statue and a room inside of that building. See, look at all the niggers that fought for us. Isn't it great? We're all part of America. Because black people fought in the Civil War. Right? Okay? And we believe, I was a kid and I thought the same thing. I thought that Abraham Lincoln was the greatest president of all. And he's deemed as one of the greatest presidents of all time. Some people still believe it. Barack Obama believes that Abraham Lincoln is the greatest president of all time. And you know why people believe it? Is because they believe that he brought together the United States, which he did. He brought together the Union, because it was the Union and the Confederacy conflicting over slavery. Abraham Lincoln said it himself, and I'm paraphrasing. Abraham Lincoln said that he doesn't care about black people. He doesn't care about the Negro. He didn't care. Frederick Douglass exposed him time and time again that he really didn't care about black people. He didn't really care about it. It was just a conflict between which economy would be best for America. Because if we allow the South to dominate, right? We'll allow the South to dominate, then we'll have a problem. Abraham Lincoln, a Republican, and the Confederates were Democrats. I'll repeat that. Abraham Lincoln, a Republican, and the Ku Klux Klan, the Confederates, Democrats. It was a Republican Democrat thing. And they fought and conflicted. And it led them to the Civil War. Not because Abraham Lincoln cared about black people. And the black national anthem is not because of this black man or that black man. It's not because Jesus is black. It's not because we created our own organization to promote and uplift black people for black people and only black people. We didn't do that. We wasn't uniting blacks and Hispanics. We were commemorating and honoring Abraham goddamn funky ass Lincoln. Stinking Lincoln's birthday, we wrote a poem. The brother wrote a poem for him, and it becomes the black national anthem. Wow. Commemoration of President Abraham Lincoln's birthday. However, amid the ongoing civil rights movement, Johnson decided to write a poem which was themed around the struggles of African Americans following the Reconstruction era, including the passage of Jim Crow laws in the South. Lift Every Voice and Sing was first recited by 500 students in 1900. His brother J. Roseman Johnson would later set the poem to music. That's the background piano to it. I remember it vividly. After the Great Fire of 1901 in Jacksonville, the Johnsons moved to New York City to pursue a career on Broadway. In the years that followed, the reason why I stopped, and I want you to think, I'm not against the song. I'm not against these brothers writing the song and singing music and going on Broadway. But you should look and invest in everything and see as to why things are the way they are. Broadway at the time was the media. It's the theater. There were no cell phones. There was no Super Bowl football games. There was no NBA halftime shows at the All-Star game. There was none of that back then. So Broadway was the media. It was the grandosos of entertainment. So these two brothers get to New York City, and now they want to be on Broadway. So they got a song written, Lift Every Voice and Sing, which would be great on Broadway. In the years that followed, Lift Every Voice and Sing was sung within black communities. Johnson wrote that the school children of Jacksonville kept singing it. And they did. They did. Right? Okay. They went off to other schools and sang it. They became teachers and taught it to others' children. Within 20 years, it was being sung over the South and in some other parts of the country. Okay, since they was in New York City, you know it was sung in Harlem. I mean, we here in Syracuse, New York, and I remember it. New York State World Fair, 1939, taking the form of a choir, the children shaped into a heart. Savage was the only black woman commissioned for the fair. The Negro National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing. Let me get the lyrics. Let's get the lyrics. Where the lyrics at? Okay, here's some notable lyrics. Lift every voice and sing, till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing us a song full of hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Now, where does the sun rise? if we are to face the rising sun? Where does the sun rise? See, this stuff isn't being taught. The sun rises in the east. So, should we be taught that we should turn and face the east? Where is that from? The children of Israel have to turn and face the east, even when in captivity. So you turn and face the east and you pray to the Most High. That's what we teach in the ISUPK. These things aren't being taught to us. This just became a song that was poetic. And that's all that this has become. And it's appeasing. Just like the scripture says, in our captivity, sing us a song of Zion. Sing us one of them good songs. We was slaves to the Babylonians, and the Babylonians said, sing us one of them songs of Zion. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when the hope unborn had died. Yet with a steady beat, have not our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers sighed? We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered. Out from the gloomy past till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, who has brought us thus far on the way, thou who has, look at this, talking about the saying God did this by might. Let us into the light. Keep us forever in the path we pray, lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee. Lest our hearts drunk with the wine of the world we forget thee. Shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand true to our God, true to our native land. Wow. Wow. That brother wrote a fine poem. That song is excellent with no definition. It's just words going off into the wind. We don't want to be drunk and forget about our God. That's in there. Let's keep fighting till our promised land. What are we talking about here? We gonna sing it at a goddamn Super Bowl to the white man? And your children is rampant. Children here in Syracuse, 11-year-old boys steal cars and crash them here in Syracuse. Your daughter knows all the twerk song video lyrics. We high out of our goddamn mind. But we got lift every voice at the Super Bowl. If it's not important to you, then what's the point, right? We don't care. Why the hell should we fight so hard to be with white people? Commanding General Yohana said this, and it was so. Commanding General Yohana said, we don't need a black man in the White House. We need a black man in every black house. And he was so right. Because while we get our songs played, while we get to turn back on the American flag, we can take a knee, we still have not feared God the way we're supposed to fear God, keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments. We don't follow our King Yahweh Shai Mashiach. We do not follow Jesus Christ, how he's commanded us to follow him. We should start doing that. Not for no goddamn Super Bowl. Not for Abraham Lincoln. We should do it because we truly want freedom. Shalom Israel. Check out Commander General Yohana coming up next. Last of the angry black man, Commander General Yohana. That's Yahanna. Yohana. Type it in on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Watch the show. Pay your tithes. Send in donations. April 4th is the Passover. You want to leave? You want to invoke freedom for black people? You should be at the Passover. Isn't that when black people got free? Isn't that when they walked up out of Egypt? Isn't that what Lift Every Voice is singing? You niggas should be there. Blacks, Hispanics, and you want the gasolina? You want those bad boy? You want to stop chopping sugar cane in Puerto Rico? April 4th, 57th annual Passover. Shalom.